I've been writing the book. I've just been literally pounding away on trying to get this book done because this next book, you guys, it's going to come out. It's going to be mind blowing for real. Like just, oh my God, I'm actually even scared when that thing hits the scene. But it's still got to be a little while. I'm not done yet. So I'm glad we're here. I got some food cooking right here because I'm going to make myself some mashed potatoes with some peas and some cilantro and some parsley and some greens. Couple topics I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about K, vitamin K a little bit. The whole vitamin K thing is so overrated. It's insane. That's something I've been wanting to talk about for a while. Chris, good to see you. You seem fine to me. You're on here. Amazing. So good to see you guys coming on. So the vitamin K is going to be one thing I'm going to be talking about right there. Because everybody's just freaking out. They're like, you got to have your vitamin K. What's your vitamin D? You got to have your vitamin K. No, you don't. You actually don't. You don't. Because advanced information is knowing not to have the K with the D. That's advanced information. So I'm going to cover that a little bit. So I'm glad we're here for that. Talk about some other stuff too. Talk about some other threats that are happening, like actually threats that are happening to people's health, and what is happening underneath everybody's noses, and that's the fragrance world. And people don't realize it, but the planet is literally going to be destroyed by fragrances for real, systematically done purposely by the chemical industry. That's something people need to know what's happening with that. Dangerous nanotechnology, chemicals in fragrances, in all the detergents and everything else. So that's something I want to talk about too a little bit. That's really going to destroy wildlife. That's really going to destroy people. That's really going to bring people to a cancer situation. It's all the different fragrances and perfumes, the colognes, the toxic level. People have no idea. They're being tricked. So people, what's happening? They're scared to death of 5G right now, right? It's like 5G. Meanwhile, you know what's really bad? You know what's really bad? All that clone perfume, scented candles, detergents, fabric softeners, the dryer dust filled with all of that. That's actually doing more damage to people's health than anybody can possibly imagine. So yeah, there's you know, there's just stuff to talk about. So they're using dangerous chemical concoctions in all of these scented products now, just so you know, like dangerous chemical concoctions, like really bad. So that's happening right now under everybody's noses, right? Into everybody's noses. So what we're happening, we're poisoning our children with all these scented products. That's basically what they're doing, and they know they're doing this. So the chemical industry knows they're actually poisoning our children. They're using dangerous chemicals that the effects on the human body, people don't even understand what's going to happen. And so everything changed in just the last few years. It was bad a few years ago, but everything's changed in the last few years. People have no idea how bad it really is. It's good to see you guys coming on here. So yeah, so I'm making some mashed potatoes if you guys don't mind too, and we're talking about stuff. I'm going to talk about the immune system a little bit, about what's to come and everything people are up against. They're up against difficult times with the immune system. So I don't think I could read comments on here. I don't think that's how it works on Telegram. I'm also trying to figure it out too with you guys right now. This is brand new to me. So, but I see everybody coming on, which is incredible, which is just awesome. Totally awesome. So I'm just making some mashed potatoes really quick. I'm just taking the skins off these steamed potatoes. You don't have to take the skins off them, but I like the look when you take them off. There's a cool look to it, right? The mashed potato look. And so I'm doing that right now. I haven't been around. I haven't been doing any live streams. It's been, I don't know, 5 weeks or something. 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks now. I don't know if it's 6 weeks now, but I haven't been doing any live streams. I've just been working really hard on the book that I'm trying to finish up with, Spirit of Compassion. It's not an easy process. So that's going on there. So I think there's some important things to know. One thing is how to keep our immune system strong. I don't want anybody to forget, because we're going into fall and winter, different places on the planet, depending on where you are. But it's important to keep the immune system strong. Zinc shock therapy is critical as a tool ready in case someone's coming down with something, obviously. So I'm waiting for people to get on too, you guys. So I'm not really going into deep talks yet on anything, because I'm waiting for people to come on live. I don't think this is going to be saved or posted. I don't think that's how it works on Telegram. So that's why I'm kind of waiting for people to come on a little bit. Make it a little food. Good to see you guys, though. Incredible. I think we have 1,000 people on right now. So about 1,000 people coming on. What's really great about this is no one's being kicked off, I don't think. I don't think people are being kicked off. So when I do like the IG lives, they're kicking thousands of people off on that one. And Facebook, they'll just kick like, everybody off, right? And then they'll blank they'll blank out the screen on people. They'll black out the screen, right? They'll take out the sound, and then they'll just kick everybody off. That's what they would do. The funny thing about censorship is, I know people are talking about there's more censorship now. It's getting crazy. Well, I've been censored since 2018, so for the most part. And that's when the censorship really kicked in high gear on the medical medium platforms. It was 2018, so we're 2021. So it's been a battle to kind of work around that all the time. But the censorship has been, maybe even 2017 actually, the censorship was kicking up for people being blocked, no notifications, cutting sound, people getting kicked off the page where they can't find the medical medium page ever again. By the thousands of people being kicked off the pages so they can't find medical medium, the medical medium platform. They can't find it, right? Medical medium accounts, they can't find it. So that was happening a lot. So censorship's been really intense since 2018. Did we freeze up? We got a little freeze going on there, possibly. I don't know if you guys can still see this. Making some mashed potatoes. Waiting for enough people to come on. But I'm dealing with a video freeze right now, so not frozen on your end though. Great, that's cool. I don't think it's frozen on your end. One of the big things coming up is going to be blood clots. Okay, and we already deal with that now. A lot of blood clots with people's conditions, but that's going to be a really big thing. So half the world is going to be dealing with blood clots. So I think we got a lot of people coming on, so this is awesome. You're wondering what I'm making? I'm making some mashed potatoes, throwing some peas in there. We're going to do the zinc shock therapy, talk about that a little bit, do the vitamin C shock therapy. Apologize for not being streaming live these days. I haven't been streaming live in a few weeks, actually like 5 weeks, maybe 6 weeks. as I was talking about earlier. Okay, so let's talk about vitamin K for a couple of minutes. Let's do that. I know that everybody, people, first of all, people need to realize something about vitamin D and vitamin K. Vitamin D is a conventional thought process vitamin, right? It's a conventional one. What that means is that the vitamin D thing came out of milk. So it was all about milk. Drink your cow's milk for your vitamin D. This is a conventional thought process, by the way, guys. It's like drink your cow's milk for the vitamin D. Okay? What happened was alternative medicine never even had vitamin D on the radar. Keep that in mind. Vitamin D wasn't even on the radar of alternative medicine, right? It was only on the radar of, did you have your glass of milk? Did you have a glass of milk? And are you getting enough sun? But originally, it wasn't even about the sun. It was, are you drinking your cow's milk? Are you drinking your milk? That's what it was about. That was vitamin D, right? And then the conventional system pushed hard because people weren't drinking the milk anymore. So they're like, where are you going to get your D? Where you're going to get your D? Where are you going to get your D? See? Because the conventional system was like, people are stopping their dairy, right? They're stopping their milk. They're stopping their dairy. Okay. And so it was all about fear and chaos. I'm not getting my D. I'm not getting my D. I'm not getting my D. I'm not drinking because I don't want to drink that much milk anymore. I don't want to drink that much milk anymore. So it was a fear campaign built upon people not drinking cow's milk anymore or enough cow's milk anymore. So the decline of cow's milk was going down, you guys. So then so the start was, you better drink your cow's milk, because if you don't drink your cow's milk, you're not going to get your vitamin D. So you better drink your cow's milk. So then the alternative movement got scared. The alternative movement was like, vitamin D? Vitamin D? Everybody was like, panic, vitamin D? And this is something you have to realize. You have to be wary when something becomes popular on all fronts of medicine. All fronts of medicine. Every aspect of medicine. Not everything, but every aspect of medicine all of a sudden starts buying into, better have your vitamin D. Now, vitamin D is a good thing to have, right? But not in dosages of 50,000 IUs, not in dosages of 30,000 IUs in one shot. Like 50,000 IUs, every day. 50,000 IUs twice a week. Terrible, terrible idea. Terrible idea. That was born out of this fear campaign about D, right? Yeah, if you're not in the sun, you're not getting enough sun. If your liver is stagnant and sluggish, and this is what they don't know. When your liver is stagnant, sluggish, filled with toxins, jacked up with toxins and poisons, metals and everything else, right? Viruses and everything else, and your liver's just jacked up and totally filled, you have to realize the liver's what anoints that vitamin D and makes it work throughout your body. It's a combination of not just the sun hitting your skin, it's your liver working. You can be standing in the sun all day long. Doesn't mean you're getting that vitamin D. Your liver has to be the one to be like, okay, son, I'm going to do what I got to do. You do what you got to do, and we'll make that vitamin D happen. You got somebody with a really toxic, stagnant, sluggish liver, filled with poisons and everything else. And you go in that sun, I'm in the sun, I'm getting all my vitamin D. No, your liver has to be functioning up to par. And that's a big key right there, right? So what happens is that all of a sudden people that go to their doctors now, it's like, you be on 50,000 IUs of vitamin D, you be on 30,000 IUs, you 60,000, whatever. It's way too much, way too much. So this excess of vitamin D is a problem. Taking too much, 1,000 IUs a day is good, okay? Couple of thousand IUs a day, right? 2,000 is good. But nobody needs to be on 20,000 a day, 30,000 every couple of days, 50,000. You don't need to be doing that. It all started originally with this big fear campaign, like I was talking about milk. That's where it started. So then here's the other conventional vitamin coming right up, K. Vitamin K, right? It's one of the only vitamins, okay, that the conventional world worried about. You guys know why. Did you ever have children? Did you have children, right? And then what was thrown at your child right when birth happened, right? So then what happened was a lot of moms were like, I don't want that procedure for my baby. My baby just was born. Nurse, I don't want that procedure. Doctor, I don't want that procedure. And then what happened is, because of that, they started a campaign of vitamin K. You better have your vitamin K, because they wanted to do that procedure right when your baby's born. They wanted to do that procedure for a reason. Wasn't good. And so then the K thing turned into vitamin K, vitamin K, vitamin K. And then someone made something up in the alternative movement. They made it up out of thin air, which your vitamin D won't work unless you have your vitamin K. Now that's the biggest crock of crap ever. Big time. So then that whole theory came into the system, right? And so that's the confusion there. But what people don't realize is vitamin K is the most readily available nutrient. It's in everything almost, right? Plenty of it. You eat one spinach leaf, you got so much K. You eat one lettuce leaf, you got all this K. You eat some kale, you got K. You eat some mosh, you got K. You eat arugula, you got K. K's easy, and K's easy to assimilate. It's easy to absorb. Really quick and easy with anything you're eating, right? It doesn't make vitamin D any more absorbable or not. That's not how it works. Vitamin K is in everything you're doing all day long. It's in your fruits, it's in your vegetables, it's in your greens, but it's easy to absorb and take in, and a lot of it. But what's going to happen is when people take a lot of vitamin K supplements, they're going to have some serious problems, because we're going into a place of high blood clottage. That's where we're heading into the future. So we're heading into a future of blood clots left and right for people. Millions, hundreds of millions of people getting different kinds of blood clots. Micro blood clots, macro blood clots galore. And that's where we're heading into the future, because everything's so polluted at this point. And there's so many problems, right? And so it's important to know this. So when you see people out there, it's just got so much fear around vitamin D, so much fear, meaning like fear of missing it or lacking it. It's just, it's really unbelievable. So what I'm doing is making like a mashed potato right here, you guys. I don't know if you see this. And talking about a few things. If you guys just got on here, it's kind of a chill, relaxing, chill kind of thing going on right here. I'm going to throw lemon, a little bit of lemon, squeeze a little bit of lemon in here. Going to talk about building up the immune system, keeping the immune system strong. One of the most important things to do for your immune system is zinc. That's critical. Thank God for Spirit of Compassion's information of zinc getting out there in the world. That's why it's doing like its thing out there, and people are like, zinc, and then all these different doctors and practitioners are like, zinc, you need that's the whole thing there. I don't know if I think we're live. You guys are just coming on here, making a little food. We're talking about some stuff. I'm going to chop up some cilantro. Really quick. We're going to make the zinc shock therapy, the vitamin C shock therapy is what we're going to do. A little bit. So this is an herb. It's cilantro, right? Herbs. This is parsley. It's an herb. Try to use herbs as a leafy green. You guys want to recover from any illness. You want to recover from sickness. Bring in herbs as leafy greens is what you do. You bring in herbs as leafy greens. Anything like that. Medical medium information is about stopping you from stepping on a bear trap. Falling into a tiger snare. Getting speared to death. Misinformation out there. It's about protecting people from misinformation. I know what happens, it's hard to sift through that. You'll see people talking good things, like, well, they're talking about that too. They're talking about heavy metals. They're talking about what's happening in the world right now. Let me trust everything they got going on. And then they'll try to sell you a whole bunch of caffeine, a whole bunch of chocolate. They'll try to sell you on microdosing something. They'll try to sell you on the whole mushroom microdosing. They'll try to sell you on, ayahuasca. They'll try to sell you on something else, or just straight up, they'll just be selling you on caffeine, green tea, whatever. And they'll just get you, they don't realize, well, this person's this said they'll sell you on chocolate. This person's so advanced. I'm going to go listen to really going on. This is when you're on that drug, it's hard to know about other things that are happening. It's just, you know. So we're here, right here, you guys. Telegram, we're live. We're just starting to get amped up. I just put cilantro in here. Okay. Got cilantro in here, and this is a beautiful quick meal right here. I took the skins off the potatoes to give it that kind of like white potato thing going on. Okay, so that's important. And to just so it has a look, right? You can keep the skins on. And I have some green peas in here, right? I just sauteed them up. Okay, and then I got some cilantro in here. I put some lemon in here. So this is a really great meal. Someone might say, well, you know, what is that? What is it? Just green peas and potato? They don't eat potato. Potato binds on to all that yeast and that mold. Bad bacteria pulls it out of the gut. Important to know. So you guys, we're live right now. This is fun. This is a comfort food, by the way. Just so you know, this is a comfort food. It's a really good one. It's tasty. It's great for people that are dealing with Crohn's, colitis, IBS, intestinal cramping, bloating, you know, all the different stuff, the flatulence, the different kinds of, you know, low hydrochloric acid that people have, because people live with low hydrochloric acid. Their livers are burned out. Their gallbladders are burnt out. They're just, their digestive systems are trashed. They got protein stuck to the lining of the intestinal tract. They got rancid fat stuck to the lining of the intestinal tract. This is an incredible food right here for people that are just all broken in their gut. Their guts are all broken and beat up. And this is a 2 capsules every 2 hours. Every waking 2 hours. So it's 1 capsule right there. I'm glad we're together today. I haven't been live. I don't know if it's 5 or 6 weeks. So and just working on the book. It's no fun, right? But it's got to be done. So I'm putting orange in here. That's part of this recipe of vitamin C shock therapy. Put orange in here. Okay. 2 capsules. I use the Micro C. That's the Vimergy right there. Using Victor I, M as in Mary, ERGY. Vimergy.com. Micro C. So squeeze juice of 1 orange. Right? I'm going to drop some honey in here. 2 teaspoons of raw honey. Storm. Cytokine storm is how people get real sick really fast. So, and what's happening right now with the plague or any flu or plague like flu that's happening out there, you can get that cytokine storm. A cytokine storm is when the body's immune system is missing zinc, lacking zinc. That's what happens. So people get sick, and they get sick really fast, or they get sick drastically because their zinc levels aren't up to par. So their immune system doesn't have that zinc that it needs. Doesn't have that trace mineral zinc that's sitting inside all the cells. Okay, so your white blood count, right? This is the liquid zinc sulfate. It's the Vimergy one. And so what zinc does is it's the modulator. It's so that your immune system doesn't overreact. It's also so your immune system doesn't underreact. That's another problem. So people will either have the underreaction or they'll have the overreaction. So been talking about the zinc now from when this whole thing started with the plague going all the way back. But so the labs would have thousands and thousands and thousands of eggs all laid out there. The tops are cut off the eggs, right? So the tops are cut off the eggs. And they put the viruses inside the eggs. And the viruses would grow because they would feed off of undeveloped proteins in eggs, because these were undeveloped, because they're undeveloped proteins, because it's the egg, it's not the chicken. So been raising they've been raising the viruses in labs for 100 years. And then these viruses get out. And this is medical medium information about how it works. So what viruses get out? Well, the Epstein-Barr's got out, all these different viruses, simplexes. So if someone's dealing with herpes right now, that was put out on purpose many, many years ago, decades ago. That was put out. That was raised in an egg and put out there purposely so you get that herpes virus. That's how it's done. And they've raised everything in the eggs. That's another thing too. So any kind of virus that's going around, not to mention the viruses that people are spreading, viruses that are inside their body, because it's hard for anybody to break off of eggs. Vegans are eating eggs. They're saying, "Hey, I'm vegan," but they're eating eggs. Plant-based people are eating eggs. That's their go-to food. They'll be plant-based for a month and then boom, back on eggs. They'll be plant-based for another month, back on eggs. Plant-based for a week, back on eggs. So that vegetarians live off of eggs, right? So if anybody's vegetarian, they live off of eggs, right? Keto people live off of eggs. And so the eggs is a big part of how we can ensure that we're going to get sick and sicker and sicker. And we're going to stay sick and get sicker. And that's what the eggs do. They give you an insurance policy that you will get sick. That's what eggs are. This is a great insurance policy. It's a great one. You got an insurance policy inside your house, inside your refrigerator? Because that's an insurance policy to guarantee you're going to get sicker someday, one way or another. It will guarantee that. And so we're talking about the zinc shock therapy, how important the zinc shock therapy is. Okay, that's to modulate the immune system. A couple of things with viruses is they don't like zinc. And zinc shock therapy is a medical medium tool, powerful medical medium. Repelled from zinc. So that's a big deal on its own. The people are so deficient in zinc because it's not in food. It's hard to get. People say, well, I get zinc from my pumpkin seeds. You're going to need a barrel of pumpkin seeds, a barrel of them to get the zinc you need. Because, yeah, there's a little bit of zinc, a trace of zinc in pumpkin seeds. The reason why the pumpkin seeds were all heralded as like God with zinc was because there's no zinc in other foods. So when they found a little trace of zinc in a pumpkin seed, they're like, eureka, we found zinc. And that's why the pumpkin seeds got like that label of like, oh, you can just do your pumpkin seeds, you'll get plenty of zinc that way. Oysters aren't that high in zinc at all. There's traces of zinc in an oyster, right? And so the reason why oysters got that whole zinc thing where oysters are high in zinc, they're high in zinc, because there's no zinc to be found anywhere else. So when they found traces of zinc, useless traces of zinc in oysters, because the mercury cancels that out. The mercury levels in oysters every 3 hours for like 2 days. You could do 1 day, 2 day, 3 day. If you want, but it's for when you think something's happening, like, whoa, I think I'm getting a fever. Whoa, I can't. I'm coming down with something. But of course, ask your doctor what's right for you. That's what I offer my friends and family. If you're more sensitive in general to supplements, you're sensitive to foods, you're sensitive to supplements, you're a sensitive person, then just do way less, or ask your doctor what's right. Do way less. Do a drop. Do a drop. But the original protocol is 2 dropperfuls, and you can change that. You can make it less. Here, I talked about how vitamin D and how it happened. People weren't drinking milk anymore. They were watching the decline of milk drinkers. So then the industry started freaking out and said, where's everybody going to get their vitamin D? You don't get your vitamin D from milk, by the way. You don't. But everybody was freaking out. So the decline of milk drinkage was down and going down and going down. Milk drinkage decline is happening in such a level on the planet right now. It's declining. And that's why conventional medicine said, well, you need your D. And the original fear was not to push a vitamin D. It was a fear of you better drink your milk. It was a strategy, a tactic that kind of failed on conventional medicine, because then everybody went to vitamin D supplements anyway. So they all went to vitamin D supplements anyway. So it was a strategy that failed from conventional medicine. They put everybody, like, the fear of God in them, that if they weren't drinking their cow's milk, then they were just going to die. You're going to get protein deficient. You're going to get D deficient if you don't drink your cow's milk. You're just going to get deficient if you don't drink your cow's milk, and then you're going to die. So you better drink your milk. You better drink your milk. And that's where the whole vitamin D thing just exploded from. But vitamin D is still a good thing to take in the right supplemental form and the right amount. Since the beginning of this whole vitamin D thing, that's getting into the household, that's poisoning your children, it's poisoning you, it's gonna create this cancer situation where early in life, where it's gonna feed all the viruses that create cancer. It's just gonna cause all this trouble. And so what happened in the last couple of years is the chemical industry went 2.0. So it went chemical industry 2.0, and they changed the rules. So the powers that be, the dark powers above, are laughing their asses off because people are buying into the fake fragrance smell. So this has been the greatest way to destroy humankind. One of the greatest ways to destroy humankind is through fragrances now. They change the chemical structures, basically the chemical potencies. They create new nanotechnology in all these fragrances. They did this purposely to a level, and then to sell you that it's longer lasting smell. This is laundry detergents, fabric softeners, clones, perfume, scented candles, mosquito spray. They're dumping 24/7 everywhere in the United States, all over the world right now. The mosquito spray, where it doesn't kill mosquitoes, it's just there to exterminate people, slowly exterminate people. And that right there, between the chemical companies right now, they got the upper hand, and no one's watching, no one knows, no one realizes. And it's to get people sicker, and it's in from now and the next 5 years, sickness is just going to be through the roof because of the new chemical concoctions and the amount of them, right? That, along with, the plagues and everything else, the Epstein-Barr plagues, the flu plagues, the plagues we're dealing with now. It's just all of it, and we're up against that too. So it's a combination of all of that. So what can we do? It's about getting the tools. It's about having the right tools. That's what it's about. It's about being armed with the right information and not being told that caffeine's okay. So it's incredible. I mean, I'm seeing it out there, and I have people tell me, they'll be like, hey, you should check this out, AW. This one dude's got a platform. They got one on Telegram. They're telling all the secret stuff. And they got everybody on caffeine, and they're selling caffeine products. And it's like, oh, really? Because they want people in sleep. Pretty soon I'm going to be doing lives on here, other places too, right? The other platforms as well. So keep an eye out overall, because we're going to be doing some different lives. On the censored platforms and on the uncensored platform as we go along. So, all right guys, I'll leave some voice messages for you guys. Okay, I'm going to leave a lot more voice messages.